That's Robert Kraft moments ago in Orlando, Florida, when asked about that third pick. And he is correct, I guess. You cannot win consistently in this league without a first-rate coach and a first-rate quarterback. So,
does that give you a little insight onto maybe they might be going quarterback with that third overall pick after that?
Hopefully he's not a prick.
Third overall
prick. Like, you know when you prick your finger?
Yes.
Yep, got it.
I am aware, yes. I mean, I hope so. Maybe that's some insight, yes.
I hope the third overall prick doesn't have a girlfriend that doesn't want to come here.
Right.
Well, did they offer Ridley more money?
They said that they matched to make sure that the
No, not match. They offered more to cover the tax situation.
That's what I mean. So match when you take into account Massachusetts has the tax situation.
So not a match, yeah. So they gave him more money based on the millionaire's tax here
which
in
would end up being the same as
But
what he's going to get in Tennessee.
Did they say they did that, or did they just say we were willing to do that? Like, did Ridley know that?
The New England Red Sox are at it again. I don't buy it for a second.
Okay.
I don't buy for a second. What the reporting was at the time was they were about $7 million off.
Okay.
I don't take them today saying that it was about. If you really offered more money, you wouldn't have a need to bring up the girlfriend.
Yeah, exactly. And then the other thing, Mayo probably wouldn't have said what he said about the Ridley situation and felt like, you know, they weren't big time offensive players this year to go and throw money at.
Well, yeah, you can't have it both ways. You can't use both excuses. So either you weren't interested in him, or you were interested in him, and he did not like the money. I think for Robert Kraft to suggest that the reason he's not here is because his girlfriend wanted to be in the South is pushing it a little bit, and when it comes to acceptable reasons. But
I will say the Patriots do lead the league in excuses, so that's not bad.
Yeah, well, what I was most interested in was the dynasty, and Robert Kraft was asked about some who are disappointed when it comes to the way that docuseries played out.
Rodney Harrison and Matthew, although I just heard quietly that they've all felt that way. And actually there were some really prominent people that were interviewed for hours that never were used. So a little disappointed that there wasn't more of a real positive approach, especially for Patriot fans who have lived the experience with us.
So he as well
was
disappointed in the way the dynasty came out, and he had no say in it, I guess.
Well, that's
even though Brian Glazer told you that he had every bit of say in it. That's why he wanted to do the project with him, his friend Brian Glazer.
I hope Dominique Fitchard, who is not actually Calvin Ridley's girlfriend anymore, they got married in 2020, comes out and says, I had no say in where Calvin Ridley was going to play. I'm his wife. I support him in everything that he does. There is no way you cannot tell me that Calvin Ridley made his decision because of his wife saying, hey, I want to go to the South instead of the North.
Wife or girlfriend?
Wife now.
Right. Oh, that's his wife now.
Yeah.
So married in 2020, it says.
Oh. Well, maybe Robert means his girlfriend wanted to go to
yes. Side chick.
I don't know. But anyway, back to the dynasty. Do you buy what he's saying there?
Well, it doesn't it back up the story. Now it backs up.
No, I don't.
The story of the two director and who was the other guy, the executive producer, and they were like, yeah, the Krafts had nothing to do with it, but it also goes against what the Glazer guy says. So, Greg, somebody lying.
Greg, would you like another quote? I think I know where all the money that they were supposed to spend in free agency is going. Apparently, Robert Kraft said they're building a state-of-the-art workout facility that'll cost $50 million.
Ooh.
He said he didn't realize there was an issue with the lack of a daycare, and that's an easy fix.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
all right.
Yes, Jonathan is going to do the daycare.
Not like a good new facilities, though.
You know, there's a thing that Ron DeSantis did because he went to Yale and he went to, I think, Harvard. He's an Ivy League guy, but he wants to get the common guy, so he dumbed down his voice to get the Republican base. Robert Kraft is attempting to do something similar, which is to act impotent as the owner of the team. And that the first you're hearing about the complaints regarding your workout facility and the care of families during games is when the NFLPA releases a study, you're either incredibly disconnected from reality or you're just doing a cleanup on ILI screwed up. And that's probably more like it.
Yeah.
But it is so infuriating to see this organization run this way. They are nowhere near being in a singular direction. I feel so just turned off by it.
Shime's right. Like if you have $50 million to spend on the workout portion of the facility, great, good for you. Then you probably have an extra $5 million that you can give Calvin Ridley, and I guarantee you his girlfriend will be pretty happy with an extra $5 million to be stuck in the Northeast for a few months in the winter.
100%.
Girlfriend, wife, whatever she is. So I mean, it's
the lighthouse all over again. Like, this is insane. What are we doing? Stop! Don't worry about building another workout facility. How about investing money into the actual team so that we can win football games and we're not 4-13 again?
I think they have convinced themselves that the reason that perhaps free agents don't want to come here are things like that. Like, they must sit around the conference table and go, lights on.
Right.
The reason that we can't get guys is because we don't have a great workout facility. All right, so let's throw $50 million at the workout facility.
The problem is they're not all on the same page. Like, because you said what Kraft said about, the girlfriend wanted to go down south. So, all right, well, we're going to use that excuse. But then Mayo's over here going, well, there's not a lot of good offensive players in free agency out there this year, so we didn't want to invest that type of money on guys that we felt like it wasn't a good and that's why I think when you start to look at how things are structured now, and I know Curtis kind of touched on it just a little bit as far as the direction, it doesn't seem like Mayo's privy or is Robert privy to the conversations that are going on with free agency. One of them seems like they're out of the loop and they're going in a different direction on what they feel like the issue is on why they weren't able to sign guys.
Also, on the Subaru of New England text line, which is 37937, find your authorized Subaru retailer at SubaruofNewEngland.com. A texter makes a great point. Can Robert Kraft stop answering questions, quote, as a fan, and answer them as the owner?
Right.
It's the same thing he does when he talks about Tommy or players like their, quote, family. No, Drew Bledsoe wasn't your son. Tom Brady wasn't your son. And an organization that carried itself as this oracle of the future, this all-knowing, adaptive, futuristic organization is now waiting for reports to come out to decide to invest in a workout facility that won't be ready for 2 years. And get ready for it. $50 million for the facility, $25 million for Bill Belichick to do nothing. That's why the money wasn't spent in free agency. $75 million they had to spend, which is not actually on the team. That's it, and I am sick of it. The organization makes an additional $300 million each year, starting this season or last season with the new TV deal. Before they do anything, that covers their payroll plus $100 million.
Yeah.
Before they sell a ticket, a parking spot, one of Wiggy's sausages. It's insane.
I mean, I didn't want to say this, but we've also been told by some free agents that they don't want to come here because Bill's stink is still all over this place.
I'm shocked he didn't find a way to blame Bill for the workout room. Bill never wanted to invest in it. He thought the weights were great.
It's just not a good look. It's not a good look on what
we tried to get a treadmill, but Bill wouldn't let us get a treadmill.
Bill was exclusive with Precision Fitness.
I love the Kraft voice, but seriously, it just looks like
I have a Nordic track. It works wonders.
It looks like Robert. He should probably just hand it over all to Jonathan. Like
I would love to be there when these kind of reactionary decisions are made. Like when somebody comes running upstairs with the Mr. Kraft, the Players Union report is in, and we got an F for our weight room. Jonathan, gotta spend $50 million on the weight room staff.
Greg, isn't that report, though, doesn't the F-, which is I think one of them, whether for the weight room or the family, that's a FU, F- from players that have said over and over again, we need this to be better. In other words, if it was just the first year they noticed it, I don't think it's an F-. I think the players gave that score because they were so infuriated that their concerns went on deaf ears. And now for Robert Kraft to act like it's this progressive move to get a new workout facility, it's just so laughable. I don't think he realizes how little of what he's saying is resonating with fans. I really think that Robert Kraft right now is as low as he's been.
Should have just left it all to Guerrero. Then you would have had to spend all that money. It would have just been a bunch of bands in there.
Where do they fall in your top 4 currently when it comes to franchises in the city? And what is the order? Are Celtics number 1 in your mind?
Yeah.
Curtis?
I would go, if I went all 4, I would go Celtics, Bruins, Red Sox, Patriots.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yep.
Above the Red Sox.
Yeah, because what's the criteria for this? Like,
I just would have it as faith in the ownership will invest.
Faith, investment.
Like overall.
Okay.
Like, upside. Overall upside.
Yeah, then I'd go Celtics, Bruins, Red Sox, Patriots. Because you kind of feel like, even though John Henry's a little bit out there, you feel like he'd be willing to throw money at a bunch of high-priced ticket free agents if they were available or there was a good market there if things continue to go worse. Right, where it seems like Robert, he'll just try to keep making different excuses on why they can't get certain free agents to come here.
And I'm serious with this. I think that and Ken had this first, there is a better shot that Bill O'Brien brings Boston College to the playoffs than the Patriots get there right now. I mean, Bill O'Brien and the Patriots have a bigger upside than the Patriots right now.
Bill O'Brien and BC.
Oh, and BC, sorry.
Yeah.
Bill O'Brien and the Eagles at Boston College have a better shot of making the playoffs than this Patriots organization.
Yeah. Well, he got Berge.
They got Bears, and they got expanded the playoffs. They're like 12 teams.
Yeah, I think they even might have moved it to 14, so you might even have an extra spot.
Keep climbing.
But it almost seems like at least there you kind of know the direction and you know how the hierarchy and order is structured. That, I think, is the biggest thing with the Patriots now without Bill. How is the structure of the hierarchy built? Like, is it Elliott Wolf over here, and is it Mayo over here, and is it Robert?
Well, I thought weren't they getting rid of the silos? Or wasn't that the big thing was we're getting rid of the silos?
Right.
It seems pretty siloed.
What's siloed?
It means silo means that like Bill Belichick was siloed on his own doing his thing without any collaboration.
So they got rid of the kind of dictatorship.
Right.
All right.
But now there's fiefdoms.
Yeah, I don't know
you got
what that.
The Mayo fiefdom.
Okay.
You got the Elliott Wolf fiefdom. You got the Robert Jonathan fiefdom.
So different tribes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it seems like. There's different when you look at it as Elliott's doing his thing, and like you said, Jonathan and Robert doing their thing, and Mayo. And I feel like Mayo is really on the outside looking in, but he's the one who talks the most because he's the head coach.